All right, you guys, welcome into this community chat. We are at the planetary hour of the moon. Coming out of this full moon in Aries. We're going to do an astro chat. All right. There's a lot of transits that are taking place this week that are changing. I'm going to go into what this is for the remaining of the asteroids as well. There's a lot of retrogrades taking place right now. We are going in for Sirius retrograde, Chiron retrograde, Eros is in retrograde. Sappho is now in the sign of Cancer at its earliest degrees. Alright, Lilith is currently still in Scorpio. We've got Vesta and Juno in Sagittarius, and Pallas is now direct in Aquarius. There's a lot going on. 11:11 on the clock as I look up. Alright, let's take a look. What's happening in the energy regarding Astro? What do we need to know? What do we need to see? What is it that's going to be expected to change in the near future? Let's see what Spirit wants to talk about here. All right, so we're talking about Sirius, self-care, wellness, and agriculture. All right, Sirius being in the sign of Aries, retrograding currently with Chiron, and where we have the moon currently right now in the sign of Aries. So there could be a lot about self-care. All right, let's see what this is. We see Juno, all right, which is currently in the sign of Sagittarius, all about marriage, commitment, and bonding. So from Sagittarius to Aries energy, this is showing me a trine currently right now and what's happening with the asteroids. All right, yeah. Juno being in Sagittarius, Sirius being in the sign of Aries retrograding. Juno and Vesta are currently direct in where they were retrograding, all right, in the sign of Scorpio previously. But there's something that has to do with feeling free and philosophical and adventurous in certain commitments, all right, having to do, this could be like, Sirius could also have to do with like parenting, all right. Let's see what this is. What is all this? The third quarter moon that's coming up in Cancer could be of significance, and where we currently now have Sappho's energy. Sappho is all about like artistic abilities, your sexual expressions, and or you having a partner with the same sex. So there's going to be some sort of readjustment taking place here with that third quarter moon in the sign of Cancer. All right, I'm seeing the planetary returns. We have Neptune retrograding back into Pisces this month, which is in its domicile, and that is going to take place on the 22nd, the day that we step into the sun in Scorpio. So there is a sense of progress taking place, and where you may see a transformation in your life, all right, dealing with deep emotional feelings. I'm seeing fire energies up top, and I'm seeing third quarter moon in Cancer, planetary return over to Piscean energy. So I'm also seeing a trine to water energies as well. All right. Let's see what's happening here. And I'm seeing Lilith. All right. So Lilith, power, activism, and vengeance in the sign of Scorpio. Yeah. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. I'm seeing Aries with Juno and Sagittarius. This is interesting. Very interesting. So there's a lot to do with parenting, self-care, wellness, agriculture, those that you are committing to overall, how you have a sense of adventure over here with Vesta and Juno in the sign of Sag, has a lot to do with spirituality, how things are being broken down, readjusted in the sign of Cancer. This could have a lot to do with like inner healing, maternal instincts, if it has to do with your home environment or where you have a sense of comfort. Planetary return with Neptune and Pisces, you're getting imaginative here. And then I'm also seeing Lilith in the sign of Scorpio, which is bringing a sense of vengeance, power, and activism into a specific transformation that could be taking place in your life. All right, one more card. What's this? Uranus is here, also in retrograde. There's a lot of retrograding going on. All right, so where you want to see revolutionary changes, and then I'm also seeing Virgo. Venus is currently still in Virgo. All right, so this could have a lot to do with changes that are taking place in the workplace. Ascendant, I'm seeing appearance, first impression, and mask. So it's kind of like the way that you're presenting yourself out to the world is, this is who I am, this is the changes that I'm making, this is what I'm committed to, this is where I feel free, these are where I'm going to make adjustments here, this is how I'm going to continue to make progress, and here's the power that I have moving forward. I like it. Let me get into this Sirius energy and what's taking place currently in the sign of Aries retrograding with this full moon energy. Show me self-care, wellness, agriculture. So maybe there's a need for lots of rest today, rejuvenation, healing. All right, if you're more so focusing on the home environment, it's going to be on parenting. Okay. My moon is in the sign of Aries, so this is a full moon for me, illuminating a heavy sense of protection as well. Let's see what this is. Show me Sirius. The Page of Pentacles. So if you're dealing with a child, it could be a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and where you have the heaviest connection overall. If it is your health, it is telling you to rest and rejuvenate and get some healing going on here. All right. Show me Juno's energy and commitment to whatever you're bonding with here. All right. Could be a relationship, could be platonic, could be family, could be romantic. Show me Juno and Sagittarius' energy. It's currently direct. Ace of Cups. All right, so you're seeking out or you're giving it to yourself or whatever it seems to be committed to your emotional state. All right, show me Sagittarius energy. So we do have quite a bit coming up for Sagittarius energy. We do have Juno and Vesta, which are the asteroids of marriage and commitment, and the asteroid of spirituality, where you sacrifice and you devote. But we're also going to be seeing Mercury and Mars move in by the month of November. All right, show me Sagittarius energy. The Seven of Pentacles. You're invested with something here regarding the Sagittarius energy, and it's more than likely where the asteroids are taking place. There's a heavy commitment to spirituality right now, and that could be bringing revolutionary changes to the workplace or how you're remaining functional and efficient on your day-to-day routines. All right, heavy in the Venus and Virgo's energy. There's something that you could be getting creative with in order to focus more so on your health. All right, or how you're organizing things in your life, or how you seem to keep a routine up. Okay, show me the third quarter moon energy that's taking place in Cancer. This one's taking place on the 13th. Pluto's going direct on the 13th. Venus is stepping into Libra on the 13th in regards to this third quarter moon, and where there's again some sort of readjustments taking place here. The High Priestess. So heavy on the subconscious state here. Something's going to have a breakdown of something. All right, in regards to the progress that you're making here with this High Priestess energy. All right, this could be subconsciously how you're receiving your messages. There could be a heavy sense of vulnerability and compassion, connection to this energy here. Again, heavy on the energy of forgiveness. Show me the planetary return, and where I see this could either be Venus entering Libra, Neptune retrograding back into Pisces, Mars being in the sign of Scorpio. There's a lot going on here. What do you want me to speak on? Or when the moon is in Cancer as well, that's in its domicile. So this will be like planetary returns that are entering back in. Okay. They want me to speak about the Mars and Scorpio energy with the Five of Cups here. There's something involving how you're taking action during transformations that are happening in your life. And because Lilith is sitting with Mars in Scorpio, all right, it kind of feels like there's a sense of power or vengeance behind transformation at this time. Show me the Lilith energy. So again, as we were speaking of trines taking place up here, the more that you rest and rejuvenate with Sirius's energy, with self-care, the more you're able to step into expressing yourself with love. All right, Ace of Cups with whatever you're committed to. And then we see here the Seven of Pentacles. You continue to invest in your spirituality. It's bringing adjustments over into the water energies now, where the High Priestess shows me you're starting to be a little bit more vulnerable and compassionate and tapping into your intuition. You're having phenomenal achievements here with the progress of these domicile energies that are in their planetary return, meaning Mars in Scorpio, the moon in Cancer, Neptune retrograding back into Pisces, Venus entering Libra. There's a lot going on here that's helping you overcome a sense of sorrow, loss, regret, all right? Things that you feel that you're grieving, and it's bringing you back into your power. Show me Lilith energy. So it's helping overall with your health. I see the Death card, the Temperance, the Two of Cups, and the Five of Pentacles. You're overcoming difficulties here. feeling like you're overcoming hardship. It could be in connection to relationships and love. I do see temperance and where things are coming back into balance, but it requires some sort of transformation here with the death card. All right, so it could be where we're seeing the shifts where Lilith, Juno, and Vesta were all together in the sign of Scorpio. That could have been a major transformation, and now that we're seeing it step into Sagittarian energy, all right, Lilith is not too far behind from Vesta and Juno, where it's going to enter the sign of Sagittarius as well. There's heavy on meeting soulmate connections, all right, meaning spiritual ones. And I do see that it's helping you overcome a sense of difficulty that you've been dealing with. Whether this is a financial issue, whether this has to be a sense of value within yourself, if it's helping you overall with something creative, it's going to help you here. It's giving you a sense of power, how to come back with some sort of activism here. Show me Uranus's energy, retrograding in the sign of Gemini. Because I also see it coming out with Virgo. So as we know, we have Uranus in Gemini with a square over to Venus in Virgo technically, if we're looking at the earth energies. All right, show me Uranus and Gemini. I'm sorry, not earth energies, the mutable energies. And where you're supposed to be being flexible. With revolutionary changes, all right, something that you could be doing innovatively that requires a lot of your time, all right, for things to be efficient and run functional. Uranus's energy, the Six of Wands, you're having a victory here. Wow. Yeah. Kind of feels like whatever you put your heart into, that's exactly where you're going to start experiencing major changes. All right, your eccentric side comes out. I like it. Show me Virgo's energy with Venus and Virgo. This is, again, something that you do creatively with work. And I see the Two of Swords. You feel like you have a sense of companionship here. There is something going on in regards to the moon in Libra that's coming up. All right. The new moon in Libra that's coming up, this is what I see. The Two of Swords is moon in Libra energy, but we're also speaking about when Venus is stepping into its domicile in Libra's energy. Show me more about this Two of Swords. You could be having to make a choice here with something, or face your fears with creating something. It's giving me, she's kind of like sewing a dress here, so if you are getting creative in the workplace, this is about expressing yourself, your appearance that you make out to the world with the Ascendant. I see 11:22 on the clock. Show me this moon in Libra energy with the Two of Swords over top of Virgo's energy. Again, how you're bringing something to your day-to-day routine and how you're making a change with this. Judgment. You're ascending to the next level with something here. The Chariot is very successful. Very successful. It's because of how much you're sacrificing and or devoting your time into here. Heavy on the Libra energy. Ten of Cups. It's because it's truly what you emotionally desire. I like it. I like it a lot. Show me more on this Five of Cups. Show me the Mars and Scorpio's energy. Because I'm seeing it right above in the way that I have the spread laid out. It's Juno is sitting right up top of this Five of Cups energy. So if you've been grieving something, you opening up your heart space, Ace of Cups, to something that's new and or something that you feel you could be committed to or bond with, this is how you're going to continue making progress. Show me the Five of Cups. The Eight of Swords, yeah. The Magician. And Page of Swords. I don't know if you're kind of like looking into the details of something. I definitely see that over here with you being more analytical and efficient. But it has to do how you're gathering some sort of information here about what you're being committed with. Does this have anything to do with air energy, meaning utilizing the intellect? Because I see the Magician. It's where you're trying to manifest something in regards to what you're searching for. Page of Swords. The Fool card. It's giving Uranus's energy, so it's bringing us back to where you're having a victory and the changes that are happening with Uranus and Gemini. So it definitely has to do with your mind, your thoughts, your ideas, the way that you communicate. It's changing. The Hangman. Maybe previously things were slowed down. Knight of Pentacles, the Hangman, the energies are changing. So as I said, Juno and Vesta were retrograding in the sign of Scorpio. Now that they have ingressed into the sign of Sag, whatever makes you feel free and adventurous and philosophical and tapping into the spirituality of it all, that's what you feel committed towards. You want to continue to gather information there. So you're having a victory. Show me the Six of Wands. What does your victory look like? The Eight of Cups. Saturn and Pisces. You're learning how to be a little bit more disciplined in the emotional state. how to be more compassionate, how to be more loving, how to utilize the imagination and bring that to your reality, withdrawing emotionally from situations that don't serve you and planting seeds elsewhere and where they do. So the rest that's needed here, the self-care that's needed, all right, possibly the foods that you're eating, your wellness, it's all working hand in hand while everything is coming together. Show me the ascendant here. The Ten of Swords. The old you is gone. That's what I heard. The old you is gone. The first impression that you make to the world is everything here. There is no mask on. Your appearance is everything. Yeah. Again, whatever you seem to be adapting to and or investing in, it's completely different than what you've known in the past. This is a new you. So we're speaking about ascendant being connected to the first house. This is all about who you are as a person, how you present yourself to the world. And it's given me here with all of this happening with the full moon in Aries, with Sirius being in Aries, with Chiron being now in Aries, right? And both of those energies, well, actually, all three of them are retrograding in the first house. Neptune, Chiron, and Sirius. So your health is of significance. Your core wounds and how you show vulnerability is of significance, as well as what you imagine to bring in once Neptune retrogrades back into its planetary return in the sign of Pisces. All right, so that's how you're going to continue making progress with who you are. Once you put some sort of first impression out to the world, you kind of like leave the old you behind as you adapt to the changes. Wow. So I'm seeing the Seven of Wands with the energy of the Sun, heavy on the Leo energy here. There's not much going on in Leo, but Leo is this energy of how you self-express. You get creative. You push forward in your happiness, what brings you a sense of peace, contentment, and joy into your life. All right, and I see you making progress in that direction, especially with what you're creating with the Empress energy here. All right, let's move on to the next spread. Okay. I saw second house, and I'm seeing Scorpio's energy in opposition to that as well. So there could be like a lot of transformations going on right now, a lot of endings and brand new beginnings in regards to what you value. It could be affecting your finances, your possessions, all right, or things moving forward in regards to your creativity. Show me what else I need to see here in regards to this astro chat. Okay. The moon void, of course. Okay, so as we ingress into the moon in Taurus, when does that take place? 1 second. It's given me today's date for October the 7th at 2:24 p.m. We will be moon void, of course, up until 1:13 a.m. where we see the moon ingress into the sign of Taurus. That's quite a bit of time. So that means that we're literally hours away from the moon going void, of course. That means there's some sort of like withdrawal or disconnection here. I'm seeing Palace in Aquarius that's now direct. Okay, and how you utilize your wisdom or your skill or how you're self-defensive, and then utilizing that knowledge that you have, because Palace is wisdom and knowledge, in regards to how the retrogrades are happening as well. Okay, so the moon void, of course, in the sign of Aries, ingressing into Taurus. I'm seeing Palace being of significance where your mindset is. All right, moving forward, how you're using that wisdom and knowledge, and how you have reviewed, I'm hearing reviewed, something in regards to all of the retrogrades that are taking place. It could be with Pluto, because Palace is with Pluto, and Pluto's in retrograde right now. So if we're speaking about transformation taking place, Pluto's energy is the ending to the new beginning. Show me this energy. What am I speaking up on here? Show me the moon void, of course. Cancer. So I don't know if this is having to do with like the moon being in Aries today at a square over to Jupiter in Cancer. Okay. And how we're going to be withdrawing from the effect of the opportunities that were meant to present themselves, where there's a lot of nurturing, caring, and sensitive energies. All right. Show me Palace's energy. Fixed signs, yeah. So Palace is in a fixed sign. So however you're using your wisdom, your skill, or how you're self-defending here in the sign of Aquarius, it's your intellect, where you're using that wisdom and knowledge in order to take action and stay dedicated to something. All right, show me the retrograde. Which retrograde phase do you want me to look at here in regards to this energy? This Palace is no longer retrograde. It's now direct as of, I believe, the 4th of October. Mercury retrograde. That's not happening yet. I don't think we're in the pre-shadow even. We may be. 1 second. Look into something here. Mercury's pre-shadow phase. Mercury's going retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius. And it will retrograde back into Scorpio's energy. 1 second. Alright, so Mercury's pre-shadow phase doesn't start until the 21st of October, which is actually the day that the new moon in Libra takes place. Alright, so there's something in regards to like communication or the way that you're expressing yourself through communication that's being reviewed here in regards to this Palace energy, the wisdom and knowledge that's needed. I see. 1 second. Wow. So your knowledge is everything right now, technically is what it's saying. And how you're utilizing the moon void of course phases in order to continue to utilize the sensitive, caring, and nurturing energies. Because it's asking that you take action still with your mindset or whatever you're communicating about. Show me more. Wow. Pisces. So we're speaking here about Saturn that's retrograding in Pisces. And where the North Node is in Pisces. This has a lot to do with like your psychic abilities, your intuitive instincts, all right? Or your dream state being of significance as well. So when, let's just say, Mercury enters the sign of Sagittarius, it will then square over to anything that's taking place in Pisces. All right, meaning Saturn or the North Node, depending on what degree it gets at, because it will retrograde at some point and enter back into Scorpio. That's nuts. Okay. Once it enters Scorpios, we'll then see a trine, which is a good energy. Like the communication that's coming through the subconscious state would be good. All right. Yeah, 12th house energy. See what I'm saying? It has to do with something that's in regards to like shadows, secrets, karma, things that exist without physical form. Again, 12th house is your vulnerabilities. This is where you feel a sense of mental imprisonment or some sort of illness or something. All right. But the 5th house, it has all to do with your hobby. So if this is what you're getting creative with, then it kind of brings out a sense of a spark in your energy is what I'm feeling this is. Like you understand it more is what I mean. You understand it more. Let me pull a little on this. So the moon void, of course, today happening once again at 2:24 p.m. to 1:13 a.m. and where we see the moon ingress into the sign of Taurus, in which it's then in its exaltation. Show me the moon void, of course, energy. What do we need to look at? There's a disconnection, a withdrawal in the energy. The King of Swords. It has a lot to do with where your wisdom and knowledge is. This Palace is directly next to it. This is a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. So this is your mindset, the way that your thoughts are working here. All right. Show me Palace's energy. The Star is giving Palace and Aquarius. Yeah. Your wisdom and knowledge is at full-time, like, blast here. I want to take a look right now and see where we are currently with Palace in the sign of Aquarius, at what degree. In the month of October, for today is the 7th. Palace is, where are you? We're looking at moving towards the 10th degree of Aquarius. I'll read the Sabian symbol just to kind of have an idea here. It says, remaining humble during moments of popularity. So maybe whatever it is that you have like wisdom and skill about, or however you're self-defending, it kind of has a lot to do with what you have wisdom and knowledge about, and that is part of this Piscean energy, how you're tapped into what you're tapped into. All right, it says our ideals are projected onto celebrities, but underneath the glamour, the person is only yet another imperfect person. I don't think that you are rejecting the illusion of fame and fortune. You just kind of understand that you know where your mindset is, and that's where your focus is at here. All right, it's on where your mind is telling you to look into the details of something. As we engage with archetypes and tune into their power and wisdom, we have also to find the ability to forget ourselves as people and surrender the egotism to the higher consciousness. We are not archetypes and not able to withstand the projections upon ourselves of an ideal, which is necessarily beyond the human attainment. We are people and we need to be in touch with our vulnerabilities and faults. It is important occasionally to look again at what we have become and who we really are. So that's what I feel this is. If you're going into like the subconscious state of something, it's you understanding subconsciously and consciously what's taking place around you and what it is that you understand. All right, so it has a lot to do with this heavy Piscean energy, because I'm seeing the 12th house here and Pisces. Saturn's energy is bringing discipline in this area of where you're meant to be showing your vulnerabilities. Okay, let's get into the retrograde energy here. Which retrograde do you want me to focus on here in regards to this card coming out, and where something's being reviewed? Because again, Palace is now direct. It could be Pluto's energy. It could be anything that's happening in Aries. All right. We have Uranus retrograding in Gemini. We have the Saturn retrograding in Pisces. Which retrograde do you want me to focus on here? Well, that's interesting. It's giving me the Pisces one. I told you it has to do with the psychic abilities here. How you're understanding something. So Pallas in Aquarius to Saturn in Pisces, it's only a sextile. I mean, a semi-sextile. Right, so they're not far apart from each other. Normally they don't work hand in hand. It would be like a subconscious conscious thing. Aquarius would be conscious, Pisces would be subconscious. So the review that's happening currently right now, and where you're remaining disciplined, or you know what I mean, very ambitious in the direction you're heading in here, your mindset is needed to be like on point. Okay, show me the Cancer energy here, where we see Jupiter and Cancer at a square today with the moon in Aries. Show me this. This is more of your nurturing, sensitive, caring sides, your vulnerability, your inner healing. All right, let's see. The Knight of Wands is on fire. That's what's happening. If it's creating tension, it's because the energy's picking up. You know what I mean? It's on fire. Knight of Swords. I mean, the Knight of Wands is like you're gathering. You know what I mean? What it is that you need here. You should be in more like a comfortable type of energy here, understanding what's happening and what's going on with your emotional state. That's what I feel. Yeah. Kind of makes you feel like you're more grounded than anything. Show me the fixed sign, and where I see Pallas being one of the fixed signs right now. There's not much happening in Leo at all, not yet until the moon gets there. We're looking at, again, Lilith and Mars in Scorpio, which is the fixed sign, Pluto in Aquarius, and then the moon ingressing into Taurus by early morning after midnight. What are you taking action on? Which fixed sign do you want me to focus on? Aquarius is energy. Okay, so the Seven of Swords is giving moon in Aquarius. We're not talking about that. I'm asking for the energy. The action, the momentum, the dedication is what Pallas is doing here in regards to the star. All right, so however you're aligned in your intellect, what's being reviewed here is the emotional state and how Pluto in Aquarius in retrograde is bringing in the energy of, you know what I mean, you remaining dedicated to what's transforming overall. Big deal. Yes. It's like your commitments were being tested there. Show me the Mercurian energy. This is heavy on like air energy, and then it's bringing Pisces in at the end because it's telling me how you understand something through your intuitive state. Okay, about whatever secrets. If your intellect is on point, then you understand what's happening subconsciously. All right, I'll see the Ten of Wands. So it could be that you do something to fulfillment when you're communicating it. The Ten of Wands is like you can put in all the work that you want to put in. It's what do you understand out of it? You know what I mean? Saturn in Sagittarius energy. Saturn says, I'm disciplined. I understand what my philosophy is in life. I understand my belief system. I understand spirituality. I understand what's coming through in the messages of higher knowledge, right? That's what this is. Yeah. Wow, you're having like a lot of success here. A lot of success. And you're either defending or protecting your energy somehow because it's pushing you towards the Chariot. The Chariot is where Jupiter is. Jupiter is in Cancer, and that's where we see where you're like assertive here. Okay? So your shit is like, you're like a computer right now. All right, show me the Piscean energy. This is all part of like your creativity. All right. Show me this Piscean energy here. The Strength card. So this is how you're strengthening your psychic abilities. It's because you understand what's going on consciously. Your wisdom, or the way that you're self-defending, it has to do with protecting your emotional state, thriving in where you need to see the changes of being a little bit more vulnerable and sensitive and in your comfort zone. All right, how to deal with situations that feel like it's difficult for you, or where you need to strategize. And again, going into this fixed energy is like if Pluto's transforming the way that you think about something, because Palace is hand in hand with Pluto, then this is what's happening. You're doing something to fulfillment, and it's more than likely showing through your 12th house. You're overcoming a sense of like mental illness or a sense of imprisonment, or you're looking into the details of something that is meant to be kept, quote unquote, a secret. All right, it's the house of karma as well. So you're doing lots of like introspection, shadow work, that type of thing. Wow, look at the Death card. It's like you're transformed. You're a whole brand new you, like I said. You're like a whole brand new you. Three of Cups. All because you're tapped into your intuition. That's Mercury and Cancer energy there. All right. Although Mercury is not in Cancer, I'm just explaining the card. You could be like blowing the mind of many people here. They're like, how do you know this? Something like that. All right. The sense of power that you have behind you at this time and the way that your mind is working is insane, because it's working hand in hand with air and water energies. We're speaking about the intellect and the subconscious energy, the conscious and subconscious energy. Okay. If it's being reviewed, you're like, you know, you're hitting the mark here. One more spread. A lot of people ask me, why do you go in and why do you look at the transits and why do you do this and why do you do? Because if you know what's happening in the transits, it kind of reflects on how you understand what's going on around you, okay, or where your focus should be, that type of thing. So if the energy is speaking to you through the transits, you're going to see that come through in your reality, is what it feels like. All right, and it could be heavy on the spirituality thing, but how do you focus more on that? You bring your body into great health, or you eat better foods, or you put your mindset on something that takes you the long way. Thank you, Karan. Welcome into. Thank you, Luke. Spirit tunes into tarot is here, and so is okay. Welcome in, you guys. All right, let's get into this one more spread. It kind of gives me like you're at your best right now with something. Okay, you're at your best with what you're doing here. I see Taurus's energy again, the moon ingressing into Taurus at 1:13 a.m. So there's a heavy energy of you being grounded and feeling stable. Again, Taurus's energy rules the second house, so it could be wherever your artistic pursuits are, all right, where you're getting creative, if it has anything to do with beauty, okay, the foods that you put into your mouth. Yeah. Gaia, heavy on earth energy here. I like it. All right, show me more. You could be tapping a lot into like nature. So let's just speak about the elements, right? It's fire, air, it's water, it's earth. Earth being more so your earth house placements, the second house, the sixth house, the 10th house. So it could be like your work that you do, your career taking off. All right, you need to be very grounded here. The psyche. I believe the psyche is in the sign of Gemini. Let me just double check here. Yes, it is. It's actually retrograding in the sign of Gemini as well. That's crazy. So your conscious mind and what's connected in your soul needs to be hand in hand with this grounded energy here. Now I'm seeing earth and air, which is insane. Because the more that you take care of your health, The more that you feel grounded, the more that your conscious mind is like, ah, it wants to sing to you. That's what this feels like. I'm going to go into October for the Psyche energy. Oh, it's not retrograding yet. It will be. Sorry, I was looking into the month of November. So it's actually direct right now in the sign of Gemini at, today is the 7th of October for the Psyche. At 23 degrees of Gemini. Let's see what this speaks about. So now we have like another semi-sextile energy, because if we're speaking about the moon moving into Taurus, okay, and we're speaking about the Psyche being direct in the sign of Gemini right now, this is earth and air working hand in hand. The more grounded you feel, the better your consciousness is. Show me the 23rd degree of Gemini with the Psyche. It speaks about the beginnings of spiritual integration, support for our first attempts to creatively express our spiritual awakening, new levels of spiritual integration, a mind that is able to hold its rational and non-rational aspect in equal dynamic balance, is able to rise above conditioned, unconscious states of being. This is the necessary integrated attitude of the mind that supports true creativity. How about that, right? So if we're looking at this energy here, it says the birthing of inspiration necessitates a degree of sanctuary. You kind of have to have yourself grounded in order to tap into that, right? I like it. Move forward. See Venus's energy here. Again, this is your beauty, your artistry, what you have love for, your creativity. Could also tap in with romance, all right, in the month of October as well, because I mean Venus is stepping into its domicile by the 13th. Pluto going direct that day, as well as the full moon in Cancer. Sorry, the last quarter moon in Cancer. There's a cusp happening here. Interesting. So Venus is on the cusp of its domicile energy in the 7th house. There's a transition that's going to take place in connection to whatever you do that's artistic. So the more grounded that you are, the more your conscious mind is connected to your soul, meaning you are in alignment with where your heart space and what you love to do. It's coming in, all right? It's almost like you're in your twilight zone. Major transition taken here, all right? I like it. And it's showing me opposing energies. So in opposition, when the moon is in Aries, obviously we've seen the opposition to the sun in Libra. All right. When the moon is in Taurus, we're going to see the opposition to Mars in Scorpio. When the moon is in Gemini, we'll see the opposition to Vesta and Juno in the sign of Sagittarius. So this is within the end of this week here. Okay. But I feel like Spirit is talking to me about how we're on the cusp right now of Venus being at its very last degrees in the sign of Virgo. And where we're getting creative in what we do for work and what we do on our day-to-day basis. Again, when we're speaking about the earth energies, Venus is in an earth sign. All right. So it's about like remaining grounded during the times of you getting creative with something. And then once Venus steps into Libra's energy, any type of like partnership, commitment that you want to have with whatever this is, it's almost like that is going to be confronted here. All right. I don't know why it feels like an opposition is bringing a sense of resistance, but we're going to see what this is. Let's find out where we're speaking about Venus right now, currently at what degree. Venus is at about 23 degrees of the sign of Virgo. One second. So coming out of the 22nd degree, yesterday I believe I spoke about this energy. You have a high level of responsibility with something. If you're in like a higher office of, let's say you were like a spokesperson or something, utilizing wisdom and knowledge, and you having to understand the subconscious and the conscious mind, Venus says you get creative with something in the workplace here. All right, so maybe you were given some sort of responsibility at work. Now moving into the 23rd degree, by the way, the 21st to the 25th degree speaks about responsibilities. This is about you overcoming prideful self-love. It says patience and self-control are prerequisites for spiritual advancement. Overcoming prideful self-love. It says taming the beast within us is a requirement if we are to maintain an aristocratic demeanor. The darker aspects of our nature, which are never to be denied and or defeated, must be brought under the control of the will. This means we cannot ever relax our guard fully and will always be tested for tenacity and or forbearance. So again, I feel like you may be tested here with the opposition, meaning you are going to experience some sort of resistance. And where are you actually tapped into your psyche? Are you actually grounded here is what it's giving me with this Taurus energy. Are you in this energy of relaxation? Are you tamed is what it's giving me. So you could be during this time that Venus is on the cusp from Venus in Virgo into Venus in Libra energy. So I'm just curious with Venus in Libra stepping in at the 1st degree and what we're going to see the shift look like. It says a butterfly made perfect by a dart that comes through it. This is about you becoming the embodiment of an archetype. It says even if only the conceptual terms there exists a perfect specimen of humanity, the Christ ideal which we can reach is towards what? Understanding that we are an perfect example of an ideal. So if you're being idealistic here, then that means that you're tapped into your heavy like Aquarian energy where Pluto's transforming you and Pallas is giving you the wisdom and the knowledge. The wisdom and the knowledge that you need to continue to ascend to the next level of higher consciousness. All right. So it all has to do with where you're. That's crazy. I'm literally holding the cards and Aquarius is on the bottom of the deck. This has a lot to do with like what's taking place here and how these energies in their domicile are working hand in hand subconsciously and consciously is what I feel. Okay. Show me, I want 2 more cards and then we'll stop this because this is a lot. I think we kind of get the point here where there's a major shift happening in the Astro. Show me this energy. The square. So again, the tension that comes along, the competition that comes along with what you are creating. So I'm just going to look in transits for the rest of this week because I believe we did see a lot of squares coming up for the weekend. By tomorrow, we'll see the moon in Taurus square over to Pluto in Aquarius. We'll then see squares taking place on the 11th, which is this upcoming Saturday with the moon in Gemini. That's going to square over to the North Node in Pisces, to Saturn in Pisces, as well as to that Venus in Virgo energy. All right, so the tension is going to create some sort of disharmony in the energy, but it's not for you to give up. I'm seeing as you move forward with something, the reason that you being grounded is more significant to how your mind works is because of the tension that's coming along with the energies. So if we're looking at a square and an opposition, this is more than likely like a 90 degree to 180 degree angle where we're dealing with these energies. There are tense moments, there are opposition, confrontational moments where you feel there's a sense of tension, disharmony, competition, struggle, polarity, whatever you want to call it. It's telling you that this is getting you ready for the cusp or the transition that's meant to happen when Venus steps into the sign of Libra in its domicile. Show me one more. It's almost like you can't have everything sweet. Everything isn't sweet all the time. This is the reason why you need to remain grounded and connected to what your soul is connected to through the conscious mind, so that you can continue to create with the Venus energy and what you do for work because it's in the sign of Virgo. But as it gets closer and closer, it kind of feels like you're going to start seeing those tensions. Venus in Virgo opposing the moon in Gemini, the confrontation will take place. There will be some sort of struggle there. See what I'm saying? Boom. And what is Gemini? That's your mind, that's your thought, that's your ideas, right? That's the way that you socialize with other people. And where Uranus is also there as well. So once we see the conjunction with the moon in Gemini, with Uranus in Gemini, all right, and then also experiencing that same energy with the square over to Venus, it kind of brings a sense of like, okay, how do I remain balanced here, right? Gemini is duality. It's the twins. They're like going hand in hand. Your curiosity could peak with something, all right, in whatever you're doing that's creative. I'm going to pull one more card on that Gemini energy. 6th house. See what I'm saying? It's what you're doing for work. Exactly. Focusing more so on your mental health is how I heard that as well. Jupiter's energy here. There's opportunities that are presenting themselves. Yeah. what I'm noticing as it comes out is that every time I look at something, I'm looking at like Taurus, right? Where the moon in Taurus is going to end up being a semi-sextile to the Psyche in the sign of Gemini, all right? And where we're also going to be seeing Taurus at a trine over to Venus in Virgo, and how Venus in Virgo is then going to square over to the moon in Gemini, where we're then going to see the conjunction with Uranus, all right? And it all having to do with a semi-sextile energy to where opportunities are supposed to be presenting themselves with Jupiter in Cancer coming from the moon in Gemini. You see what I'm saying? So we're not moving hand in hand with the elements that are typically either harmonious, or should I say a sextile, or should I say things working at an auspicious, good, fortunate type of energy with a trine taking place. It could be either or. The energy goes up and down. It's not always going to be the same. It's meant to be challenging, to continue to force yourself to be curious about what you're tapping into here. Show me the Taurus energy. Show me the moon in Taurus energy. Seven of Pentacles. That's interesting, because this is a Saturn in Taurus energy. This means that you have potential to show ambition or perseverance towards your specific goal, and how you're going to remain invested in something. This is like an investment card. All right. So it requires, I can't speak right. Hold on a second. It requires discipline, structure, authority in your own energy. All right. You putting in like long and patient work to stay focused is what I feel. Show me Gaia's energy with the earth. And nature could be of significance again if you want to go out into nature. All right. Again, I'm getting like air, water, you putting your feet down on the ground. Okay. Having a sense of assertiveness if you're exercising. It's kind of like get your body going. You know what I mean? That type of thing. The Ten of Pentacles is here. Interesting. So I feel like you're calling in abundance by the more grounded you are over here. The more disciplined you are, the higher chances you have of winning. The Ten of Pentacles is like a Mercury and Virgo energy. All right, so it kind of gives me where your mindset and the way that you're remaining analytical, efficient with gathering information, or however you're curious about something regarding what you do for work, it keeps you at a highly elevated level that you're having a major win here. Ten of Pentacles is like you building your foundation or your stability for something. All right, show me the psyche here with your conscious mind. The Nine of Swords. Be careful that you don't overwork yourself mentally. That can create stress, depression, anxiety, worries, fears that you're heading in the wrong direction. Try to make sure you get enough rest as well, because that can be where you feel drained, okay? Mentally drained. Yeah. Like emotionally, you would feel like you're having a tower because you're putting so much work in. This is the reason why it's saying remain grounded. All right? Try to focus more so on not just your work, but bring other elements in from nature that's going to help you remain grounded. Show me Venus's energy. Show me Venus's energy. The Page of Wands. So again, your focus is on your passion, whatever you're creating over here with your art, your artistic ways, whatever that is. Be patient with yourself. Don't force it. Take your time. I'm seeing the Knight of Pentacles. Take your time. Because once the energy starts shifting and we start seeing these squares and these oppositions, you're going to drain yourself out. And I feel like you're going to do it mentally with this Nine of Swords over here. Okay. Now, we spoke about the Psyche being the sign of Gemini. That Nine of Swords, that's in Mars and Gemini energy. Mars and Gemini says things are going to be going very, very quickly here. All right. Either however your information is coming through, whatever you're gathering information about, if you need to socialize with something, if you need to write down your ideas, things are going to be like a bolt of lightning is what it's coming through as. So be careful that you're not draining yourself. That's why I feel like Spirit started off with Sirius in the sign of Aries retrograding with Chiron, because there's core wounds that you have to deal with. And where Neptune is retrograding in the sign of Aries as well, if you're creating something, then that retrograde is saying give yourself time to review what it is that you understand, your self-care being of importance. If you have anything going on in regards to the way that you're feeding your body, that type of thing. It's like things are going to start elevating quickly this upcoming weekend too with this moon in Gemini. There's a lot of energy going on in Gemini this weekend. A lot. All right. Show me the cusp So show me Venus on the cusp of Libra. That's what I'm seeing here with Venus being in Virgo. Show me the cusp. Or this could be something else. I don't know. That's what I'm picking up from it. Ace of Cups. Interesting. So I don't know if your emotional state is changing here. The moon isn't at a cusp right now to water energy. Show me this Ace of Cups. This could have a lot to do with the transition within yourself. This could be like self-love. Venus, yeah, thank you. Venus and Libra, self-love. That could be it. Or this could be the opening portal to love coming in, you guys. So make sure that whatever you're focusing on, if it's work, understand that if you need to take a step back from work when things get tough and tension starts coming in and then you feel this sense of resistance, it's because the energy is pulling you into the transition that's taking place. You got love coming in. That could be exactly what this is. Yes, the Wheel of Fortune. My goodness. You guys have no idea. I said it the other day in one of my readings that the third decan of Libra season was going to be when the energy started shifting for relationships, contracts, agreements, commitments. All right. And it's happening because Pluto's going direct. That last quarter moon in Cancer is taking place. And we've got Venus stepping into Libra all on the same day. That's the 13th. And that is this upcoming Monday. Okay. Wow. Show me the polarity here, the opposition. Show me the polarity here with this opposition. So again, it's kind of like, it's giving me, you're going to feel that there's a sense. One second. I don't know if there seems to be some sort of polarity here in connection to the subconscious and the conscious mind, because I'm seeing the Seven of Cups with the Queen of Swords. This is showing me how elevated your mind is right now, but your emotional state is lacking, meaning that you're keeping something secretive to yourself. You know what I mean? Like you're not allowing your love to come in. If we would have seen like, this is a Venus and Scorpio energy. Venus and Scorpio is seen as a detriment. This is almost like you're not allowing love to come in. In Scorpio's energy, love is trying to transform here, clearly. All right, whether this is something that you do for work, if you do have love coming in, this is the major transition that's taking place. All right, I'm going to put these two cards together. Show me the energy of the square. So again, it kind of feels like there's two elements that are working hand in hand. They don't go well together. Not at all. So this could be where we're speaking about, normally a polarity is opposites attract. So this will be like air with fire and or water with earth. What we're seeing here with Gemini's energy, it's coming through with the opposition to fire. But why is it showing me you're still stuck in your feelings? Seven of Cups. You know what I mean? Air doesn't go with water. So the elements are still off. So this would be like the cusp of like Libra and or Scorpio, or this would be the cusp of Gemini and Cancer. As I said, Gemini's energy here with the psyche working hand in hand with Jupiter and Cancer, something that's an opportunity to grow and expand. All right, Jupiter being in Cancer and its exaltation is working out well. All right, this energy of the psyche in the sign of Gemini, which your minds are elevated well, it actually may work out, but you have to open yourself up to love. Spirit is going to pull you away from a situation to get you to focus solely on what's transforming in your emotional state. Show me the square. Show me the square. The sun. So if you feel the tension, if you feel that there's competition here, when those squares happen this week, it's because you've got something good coming. Don't fight it. Don't fight it. There's the energy of the sun card here. All right. Your happiness is coming in. Something is going to remain for you where you're like content with where your work is going. All right. Or where your focus has been. Have you been putting in a lot of work? Are you seeing results if you're on like a health journey or something like that? Something that you've been trying to remain organized with here, it's going to end up working out. That's what I feel this is. Show me the Gemini energy with the 6th house. Because again, this is giving me the moon in Gemini at a square over to this Venus in Virgo energy. Show me this. 4 swords. Told you. Get your rest right now because things are about to pop off. There could be some sort of negotiation that comes through for work. all right, in regards to how you're using your intellect. This is a Libra energy, actually Jupiter in Libra. All right, so the opportunity for a partnership or commitment or some sort of relationship can come through, and it could be regarding work. Okay, show me the Jupiter and Cancer energy and how it's working at a semi-sextile to this moon in Gemini this weekend. What are the opportunities for growth and optimism that are here? The Tower, you're going to be shocked. You're going to be shocked. The King of Cups is here as well. Heavy on the Scorpio energy. That's insane. So I would imagine the Mars and Scorpio, in which we saw earlier, and how you're remaining assertive, you're overcoming some sort of sense of grief or some sort of energy of like you having Mars and Scorpio is having a phenomenal achievement with a transformation in your life. And where previously you may have felt held. This is heavy on the 12th house energy. High Priestess and the Hangman. And then we see the Star. We're seeing it come out again from earlier. You could be seen as like a teacher to others, all right, in regards how to deal with these type of energies by what you do creatively for work. Craziness. So it's almost like you've understood the secrets of the universe just by taking a step back and reviewing the energies and learning how to do something differently. And then when you come out and you take action as the Star, you're going after what you have hope and faith in, and it transmutes the entire energy. You come out like a damn teacher here. See what I said? It has a lot to do with this energy here. This could be like Moon and Taurus energy with the Hierophant opposing Mars and Scorpio. That's your phenomenal achievement. Moon and Taurus is like at its exaltation. The polarity of that energy is deep. It brings in a sense of like phenomenal achievements for you. I like that shit. I like that shit. All right. You can't be afraid to confront something. It's just letting you know that the energy is coming. That's what it's giving me. All right. The energy is like right around the corner. So that opposition to the Moon and Taurus technically happens on... Ooh, where's the opposition to Mars? That takes place on the 8th, which is tomorrow. Yes. So Mars is currently at what degree in Scorpio? I don't know. I have to check something for you guys real quick too. Give me 1 second. Mars is at currently 10 degrees and 25 minutes. Let's look at the 11th degree of Scorpio. It says here a drowning man rescued. So all for one and one for all. There is an inherent attitude of willingness to take care of strangers in danger that defines our humanity. Readiness to care for others of our species. When we consider what is about our race that distinguishes us as the rightful stewards of our planet, we perhaps would say our humanity. By this we mean we have an inbuilt sense of responsibility for the well-being of others, even strangers, and if they are in peril, we would even risk our own safety for them. I feel like this more has to do with like your transformation. All right, so projecting faith into the future makes us safe from danger. This could be about how you're warning people, and whatever it is that you're taking action and you're bringing this out to help other people as well, even if they're strangers. Okay, so I don't know if those of you that are watching me that normally don't tap into astro energy, this is how I normally understand what's going on in the transits. Okay, I also wanted to look into something else. What was it? It's kind of like skipping my mind now. 1 second, you guys. Oh, 1 second. 1 second. Go back here and go down. Okay, perfect. It's not showing me really if there's any planets that are out of bounds right now. Normally out of bounds would be anything that is past like the 23rd degree. Actually, Pluto looks like it's out of bounds. Yeah, I think Pluto's out of bounds. So meaning that you could be acting a bit irrational, you know what I mean? In like these specific areas where there's transformation taking place in your life right now. And because Pallas is kind of hand in hand in the sign of Aquarius, your wisdom and knowledge is like through the roof. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of puts a heavier pressure on Pluto already transforming something when it's out of bounds or at that specific 23rd degree. It's really important. It's because you're getting to the last degrees of something. You know what I mean? Um, it's the declination is what I'm speaking about here. It's not the actual like Pluto at the 23rd degree. It's the declination of Pluto's energy and where it's on the ecliptic, I think it's called. Okay. 11:11 tip says, thank you, sweetie. I'm at 12:11, but I appreciate you. 1 second, you guys. Oh, I'm at 7 degrees on my charge. So we're gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna do just a quick spread. All right. But I feel that this is the reason why Pluto's energy is so intense right now. And by the way, by the month of October, or by the end of the month of October, we're seeing a first quarter moon in the sign of Aquarius. That's happening on the 29th. So we'll have Pluto direct by then. Pallas is still in Aquarius direct. We'll have that first quarter moon in Aquarius. And then we're seeing here a major shift in something transformative wherever your Aquarius placements are. For me, that's my first house. Woohoo! So where it was speaking about your appearance or, you know, something being of significance here to how you're facing the world and showing people who the fuck you really are out here, right? It's at an all-time high. I like it. All right, I'm seeing the 8 of Swords, the 2 of Swords, that's 10 Swords right there. So anything difficult could be coming to an end here. If you're trying to build on some sort of firm foundation, you definitely have strategy. I see the 7 of Swords. So your mindset is like, again, is through the roof. I see Jupiter, Gemini. I see Moon in Libra, which is the new moon this month. Again, heavy air energy. I see Moon in Aquarius. That Moon in Aquarius, I believe, doesn't take place until, 1 second, the end of the month. Again, that first quarter moon in Aquarius. Yeah, the Emperor. You could be starting up your own business or something here, or just stepping into your power. King of Pentacles. Something's gonna be very, very lucrative for you this month in regards to money. All right, or however you're building your, you know, your business up. That's what it feels like. Something very lucrative coming in for you by the end of the month. I like it. I said the 4th. What's on the 4th? November the 4th. Mars moves into Sagittarius on the 4th of November. I don't know if that's what you're speaking about, but that's what I just heard. All right, we see the 9 of Swords here, the King of Wands, the 4 of Swords. You're going to be reconciling with somebody. You're going to have a big victory here as well. All right, it's something involving Gemini energy. So Gemini could be communications, the media, transportation, travel. It could be if you're teaching something in the school. It could be, you know, you associating with the small groups of people where you're teaching something, all right, or like a spokesperson to something. Yeah, you have a lot of knowledge here with the King of Wands. And something's being negotiated in your favor here as well. Okay. Oh, you said Aquarius is your 4th house. Got you. Hold on a second. So I'm seeing strength with the King. Yeah, your mindset right now, your mental, your ideas are at an all-time high. It looks like you got a lot of abundance coming your way. Absolutely. It's because you have so much passion and your heart is pouring into this. The Chariot. It's going to be so successful, you guys. So good. Judgment. You're ascending to the next level. You're reconciling with someone as well. Could be for business. Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles is out here. Big deal. Big fucking deal. The moon energy is here, full moon in Aries. So depending on how you're presenting yourself out by today, coming out of this full moon, as we start releasing this full moon in Aries energy, and as you continue to work through this last, you know, waning moon cycle, and where you're going to start making those readjustments, Cancer's energy, the inner healing, the vulnerabilities that you're dealing with, all these changes, by the time that new moon in Libra takes place on the 21st of October, it's like go time. I like it. All right. Don't hold yourself back. Keep pushing forward. I've seen the 5 of Cups again with that Mars and Scorpio energy. And it's domicile. Mars is like wanting to transform and deal with deep emotional energies that need to be taken care of before you move to the next level of dealing with something else or a different challenge. All right. I love you guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.